Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 2022-2023 Round 1 of Playoffs review, Round 2 preview. As always, I am your commissioner, a.k.a. Mr. Modest, a.k.a. reigning champ, a.k.a. going into the second round, a.k.a. Buzzsaw. Here he comes. I'm joined by Joel Gibson. How are you doing, Joel?
Better.
Been better. That's all. That is certainly all we can ask for. Let's jump right into it. We're going to start with the consolation bracket here. In the battle for the first round pick, it's going to be Steven beating Kyle. I'm not sure Kyle knew that this was a game for the number one pick. He didn't add. He didn't try. Steven murdered him.
Yeah. Annihilated him. Double-digit victory.
Yep. Nothing more to say about that. Steven will move on to the finals for the battle for the first pick. Congratulations, Steven. And he will be playing the winner of Eric at Cody, which is Cody. You and I both kind of knew that this was going to be the outcome with this one. Shout out to Eric, though, for having LeBron when he broke the scoring record. Like, at least that's worth it to draft him at 11th overall, right?
Yes. No.
So, as I said, we'll just get this right out of the way. Playoffs round 2, battle for the first pick is going to be Steven at Cody. And then we'll get back into the review, obviously, and the preview for the actual playoffs. Steven at Cody, this was going to be very interesting. Both of these teams have a lot to gain. Cody has less to lose than Steven. If I'm Steven, I want this hard. And Cody's team can put up a line if he has to.
Yeah, there's more for Cody to lose because he's guaranteed at least a second overall pick. But if you're Cody, I just feel like he's been losing for a long time. Hopefully, this is the loss that directs him towards winning.
Yeah, we're going to see.
Or the win that directs him towards?
Yeah, it would have to be the win that directs him towards winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're backwards because we're in the consolation. So, Steven at Cody. I am going to pick Steven to win on the road here. I want Cody to win, and it makes sense for him to win. But Steven has so much more motivation, and I think he has a lot more players that he'll be willing to drop if he really wants to go at it. And I think that Steven can go from the 9 pick, well, essentially the 4th pick, up to the 1 pick if he decides to go for this over these next 2 weeks. The lines, I know, lean, I think, a little bit towards Cody, if I remember looking at them earlier. I'm not 100% sure, but Steven's team can put up well if he decides to gut his bottom or really go at it. I think Steven has a chance here. I'm picking Steven on the road.
I'm picking Cody. It's Steven's team has just been a little shallow this year, all year.
Yep.
And Cody's got some players. He's also got a couple triple-double threats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick Cody.
Cody is by far the more talented team. I agree with you. I just hope that Steven sees that there's that slack at the bottom. You and I have been talking about this whole season. We're not sure what to do with his bottom and stuff like that. And here we are, round 2 of the playoffs, still asking the same questions we had week 1 with this team. What's he going to do? Is he going to go after this? Or is he just going to settle for having that 4th pick and staying below the cap and, being pretty conservative with it? We don't know.
We'll see.
Now moving back to the playoffs round 1 review. Now that we got that consolation out of the way, it'll flow a little bit better, I think. We'll start with the reigning, defending world champions matchup. It is Matt at Modest. Joel, Did we get it done?
You got it done. You definitely got it done.
And Booker's back, and my rookies are firing at the right time, and most of my team is healthy, knock on wood. Let's avoid those Clippers back-to-backs for this upcoming playoff. I made some trades, and I sold out for this year. I want my dynasty now. I am willing to rebuild. I've shown that I can do it before. I'll do it again. I want my championships now. I'm only 2 behind you if we don't count, or if we do count the Asterisk championship that I was not in the league. I didn't have Cade this year. If I can win this year, next year looks pretty good. I'll at least have a shot pending any injuries. And let me just say, Joker is a monster. I don't know what else to say about my team other than Joker is a monster.
Yeah, Jokic is a monster. He's unbelievable. We'll see what your team looks like when you actually have Cade Cunningham for a season. But you got it done against Matt. Matt had a solid season. Some of the guys that I didn't think would be particularly good for him ended up playing pretty well.
Right.
He's a couple rabbits out of the hat like that, but it was not enough.
All right. And then the last thing I'll add about this matchup, I just want you to know my long hashtag name that I introduced myself at the beginning now grows 1 hashtag longer. It is hashtag Dragon Slayer, because this is Matt's first playoff loss on Fantrax. The only other championship that ever went to anyone else besides me and you went to Matt on Fantrax, and I slayed the dragon, Joel Gibson.
You got it done.
Absolutely. Next matchup, we have Doug at Neiman. Neiman takes care of business. It was very close throughout the week. I know Doug didn't set his lineups the one day that cost him some threes and steals, but at the end of the day, it didn't really matter. Like, Neiman had enough to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, Neiman has just been plowing along all season. And I'm still confused as to why Doug didn't go for it with a bunch of ads, but he didn't. So Neiman's going to just keep cruising.
Yep, it looked like he was trying to play more of a percentage game. Even if he would have added, I'm not sure the categories that would have been up for grabs. I mean, steals, obviously, but he would have lost turnovers. Field goal percentage was really close. This one was tough. When he started playing and remained close, he was close because he was winning those percentage categories and keeping the turnovers down. And it was one of those kind of games that he kept it close that Neiman had to add towards the end, where Doug didn't necessarily have to.
Steals and blocks, I think, were both very gettable.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see him add, if only to see Neiman add as well a little bit sooner. There wasn't a lot of ads in this matchup.
But you're right. I don't think he would have got 300 points off the wire.
Right. It's really tough, even if he would have added every day, whatever, to see where he could have caught up enough that Neiman also couldn't have just saw every one of his moves. You know what I mean? Neiman won the right categories to get this matchup.
Onwards and upwards. Good season for Doug. We'll see him next year.
Yep.
Keeps on cruising.
Yeah, it's really funny to me that once you lose in the playoffs, now you're just done. Like, we're not bothering to set up losers bracket like matchups. That doesn't matter. None of it matters. You already know your pick. Like, you're just done. And so I agree with you. Thanks to Matt for his participation this year. It was a pleasure beating your ass. It was great. I did it both times we played. Doug, it was fun as always. He's building a younger team. He is over the cap. So I am interested to see. My one off-season thing for Doug is, can he get under the cap to avoid having no free agent money that next year? That's an interesting question that I'm not 100% sure anyone knows the answer to.
How far over is he?
I believe 30.
Oof. Woof.
It's really rough. So unless he is also willing to not compete next year, I don't know. I think something's going to have to get done. I'm interested to see this offseason what happens. I think there's a lot of different people that need to move things, that stuff has to get done, right? We didn't have a lot of trades near the deadline. Everybody's getting used to Dynasty. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see kind of the dynamics moving forward of who wants to trade to be a contender this year, who wants to build again for next year, for the future, and how those kind of teams coexist. It's going to be interesting.
For the record, looking at his roster, he could easily drop $30 worth of players and still keep most of the core intact.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he could have done that way earlier in the season. I think he could have done that this matchup, quite frankly, just to at least let off some cap.
Yeah, I don't think Isaiah Stewart is like a long-term piece.
No, me neither. Next matchup, we have CJ at Adam. This one, honestly, was over after like day 3, if you ask me. KD was out the whole time. Steph ends up going down. CJ was out of ads after like the 10th day or whatever, of the matchup. May have even been sooner. Adam's team is good, and Adam had to use some ads for sure. Well, I don't know if had is the right word there. But here we are again, Adam and Neiman. They both are constantly in the playoffs. They kind of took over the Simmons role of always a bridesmaid, never a bride kind of thing. Both of them have. And now both of them have a home game heading into round 2. So it's really going to be interesting to see. CJ, I love your team. I really think you got screwed with injuries this year. On paper, Joel and I said the whole time, if you are healthy, you are going to be a top team. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. Does he try to bring in some health to get him? Maybe trade one of those top 3 for some health and depth. But I don't know what he's going to do. It's definitely interesting. I think CJ can go a lot of different ways with his team.
I agree. We'll see. Like you said, it's very interesting. He's got a stacked roster. He's not in a bad place for, I would say, the shortish term, the next 3-4 years. He's pretty solid. And just maybe one of these years things break the right way for him.
Right. And Adam's team's very good. He's been rolling all year as well. Him and Neiman have basically been 1-2, and it wasn't close the whole year. So these two having the home games going into the second round, I think it went well. The best teams are there, honestly. That doesn't always happen, but I think we got it right this year, at least for those 2 spots. Thank you, CJ, for participating. Good luck to Adam. Now, let's get into the heartbreaker. Joel Gibson was the 6th seed at Phil, the 3rd seed. I will just get out of the way that Phil beat both Joel and Matt this week as far as lines go. So him trolling the troll meant nothing. He would have won regardless. And he avoided having to play Neiman in the first round. I guess if we're going to try to continue this little did you make the right decision instead of Adam. But shout out to Phil. He dumped half his team at the beginning of the year to get under the cap. And now he's won his first playoff matchup. Joel, let us have it. You've had some time. What do you got for us?
It's a tough one. Lost by 2 free throws, which is just brutal. I'll tell you what, watching a game all the way down to the end, all the wrong players shooting free throws besides your guy, and when your guy gets there, he goes 1 and 2. It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah. During getting injured.
Yeah, dude. Just Had a lot of injuries this week. Not to discredit Phil, good game or good week from him, or good matchup from him. I felt like I just kept looking at his roster and like his guys just kept putting up numbers. It was super frustrating. I would look and Malik Monk had like 3 20-point games. Porzingis was super solid. JJJ was super solid. He did miss a couple Luka games, which was definitely tough. But Jordan Poole was really good this week. It was a hard-fought battle. Going into today, I really thought that I was going to take it, and I thought I was going to take it all the way until about an hour ago. But truthfully, I missed games from Tyrese Halliburton, Darius Garland, Kyrie Irving. I think I missed a Gordon Hayward game. Gabe Vincent, Chris Middleton, Kawhi Leonard, and Zion Williams. Which that's a long, long list of really, really good guys. Just one of those guys playing in one of those games, and I feel pretty confident I would have taken it. But, sometimes you just... It's up to the fantasy gods, and that is a bummer. So, yeah, I'm out with it. I said my piece. Good week.
Good week, Phil. It'll be very interesting now against Adam. Phil, if you ask me, without Luka's kind of limping in here, I think, did he play the last game? Luka's back, yeah. So all good. All good. I was thinking I was going to make that comment about you, Zion, going through to the All-Star break. So I don't know why it didn't relate. But, it was just a bummer. Thank you, Joel Gibson, for participating this year. I believe this is the earliest you've been eliminated, is the first round, correct? You've never not made it past the first round.
I've always made it past the first. I'm going to blame it on Dynasty. You could argue, or I would say that my team build is not exactly what I want it to be, but I wanted to make sure that year one I went after talent first and try to figure it out later. So the plan was never year one, but the hope was still year one. So I guess I got to put that hope to bed and look towards the future. Got some pretty bright young talent on this team that I think could really fuck some people up down the line.
Great. I'm glad to hear the optimism. Like I said, I appreciate you getting on so quickly. I mean, we're about a half an hour after the loss at this point. So I appreciate you getting on and going through this. Like I said, congratulations to Phil. He moves on to his first playoff matchup. With that being said, let's just get right into it here. Playoffs round 2, Joel Gibson, features Mr. Modest at Neiman, the 4 versus the 1. All 4 top seeds make it into the second round. Now, Neiman, and I don't mean to discredit Neiman, but I've already beaten him once this season. I told you I was going to get it done that week. I am rolling right now with health. Knock on wood, of course. But at the beginning of the season, and right after Booker went down, when I was rolling, I said, if Booker is back in time for the playoffs, look out, I will be a force. I am a force. I'm doing it without Cade Cunningham. And I'm about to slay this dragon, Joel Gibson. Let me say that again. I have added that hashtag to my name for this purpose. I've done it once. I've walked into the dragon's cave and I have come out victorious. I'm walking in again and Neiman is going to collapse again. Here comes the hammer, Mr. Modest, going for back-to-back, picking himself on the road. Joker has at least 5 triple-doubles, and I win this matchup.
It's tough to call, but I am picking you. For no other reason, I haven't seen the waiver skill from Neiman throughout the year, or the just want to hit the waiver every day. He's not going to win this matchup unless he cycles daily. Other things of note is that Joel Embiid is already questionable for Monday's game.
Yep.
It's kind of interesting that this matchup is going to be the matchup of the two front-running MVP candidates, in my opinion, for the NBA. But we will. I'm picking you. The other thing that's going against Neiman is Jaylen Brown has been pretty healthy all year up till this point. And he's just been a steady 20 points a game along with the peripherals. And without that, it really, really hurts.
And also keep in mind, they're number 1 in the league right now. They have no reason to play this man even to the All-Star break. So, let me just add that in there.
Yeah, it gets interesting when you look at Neiman's team. There are droppable guys. But who does he consider droppable? And how in depth is he willing to play it? Because if you outcycle him, I think he's in trouble. So I'm picking you.
We love that. You saying that I'm going to the championship again? We love that. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be tough. Neiman can definitely put up a big line. We've seen it week after week. He beats team after team. I did beat him. I hope that playbook still works. I did have Booker during that matchup when I beat him. I now have Booker back. And I don't know if you know this, but he's now playing alongside a man called KD. And he's going to get some open looks, bro. He no longer has to create his own shot as much. I think that this is the best thing that ever happened to Devin Booker and his growth. Sure, he loses a little bit of usage, but those assist numbers will go up. Passing to KD, it's not difficult. But my team right now is on fire. All the players everywhere. I have 3 to 4 cycle spots. I don't think my strategy is a big secret. I use my cycle game to win matchups. I do it every year. I would make the argument that I might be the best cycler in the game. I am going to win this matchup. And that's it. That's all I got.
We'll see, dude. We will see.
Next matchup is Phil at Adam. Phil's first time into round 2. Like I said, I can't say enough that at the beginning of the season, he dropped like 5 or 6 of his players. He and I made a trade that seems to be beneficial for both of us at this point, except for Jackson, who he had to drop to the wire and is still on there. Not going to say I won that trade by a landslide, but I probably did win that trade. But Phil makes it to the second round here. He's got AD. He's got Luka. He's facing Adam. I believe Adam finally dropped Kyle Lowry to the wire. He was the one that had Kyle Lowry, I think. That's about time, in my opinion, as a Heat fan. Other than that, I don't know that I have a lot to say about Adam's team, other than he's a lot of players. I know Nurkic is out, so that's definitely going to hurt. Luka back, definitely going to help. I really, really want to pick Phil in this matchup, only because it's like one of those things where Rookie of the Year, Phil wins Rookie of the Year this year. No, he was in the league last year, but he makes a good run his second year. I want that to happen just because I like when new people come in and just set the world on fire. But Adam is a tall task. Adam's a tall task. I'm going to hesitantly pick Phil as the underdog, only because I hope that gives me a little good luck as the other underdog. I
also am going to pick Phil. It's close. Adams' team just is a little more banged up, I think.
Yeah, yep. I looked at it earlier. You're absolutely right. I think it's 2 injured players more than Phil, if I'm correct.
Oh, it's hard to say how much of them are like real injuries. Like, is the Jamal Murray injury like just rest, or is he sitting?
Yeah. They signed Reggie Jackson today, I saw.
Yeah, and is he just going to sit till the All-Star break? That's a possibility too. And Adams got Colin Sexton, who, man, I should have waited on the date for that bet because he's starting to look pretty good again. God damn it. He's a bitch. But I am going to pick Phil. He got mine, and he's just got some very explosive weapons. He's got Luka. Josh Green was a big ad for him at the end of my matchup with him.
Yep.
Adam is like lighting it up right now. And if that's a real thing for till the end of the year, that's huge. So yeah, I'm going to pay him the respect, and I'm going to pick him.
All right. Well, if that's being said, we have 2 upsets of the top 2 teams that have easily been the top 2 teams all season. It is just interesting. I find it a little unlikely that both Phil and I win. It would be crazy only because of the records, the teams that they've gone through this season. But Phil and I are both pretty healthy compared to the other one. We've both proven we will add every day. It's a kind of interesting contrast in styles. I think we're going to see, I'm standing by my picks. Modest Phil championship. I would love to see Phil in the championship. Come on down. I have a present for you. I've been there several times at this point. And I would really like to keep, this trophy in my possession. But first, I'm going to take care of Neiman. Phil, you take care of Adam. Good luck to everybody this week. Joel, anything else from you?
Good luck to everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Yeah.